A young man, just 20 years old, inherits a small kingdom in the far north of Greece. 13 years later, before he turns 33, he has built an empire that stretches from the land of Greece, across Egypt and to the borders of India. He was a student of the greatest philosopher of all time, but his ambitions were sky high. He wasn't just a king, he was a phenomenon, an undefeated military genius. We're talking about Alexander the Great, a conqueror who changed the map of the ancient world forever. But did you know that behind that title of great lies a story of obsession, betrayal, and a tragic end? Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I'm Rai, and in this video we'll explore the story of one of the most legendary figures in world history, Alexander the Great, the conqueror who built a gigantic empire in just a decade. Many know him as an undefeated military genius, a student of the great philosopher Aristotle, and a young king who conquered half the world before the age of 33. But behind all his glory lies a far more complex story of boundless ambition, betrayal, and a mysterious end. So, get ready, because today we'll delve into the life of Alexander the Great, from his youth in Macedonia to his mysterious death in Babylon. Here are the complete historical facts about Alexander the Great, the world conqueror whose name will live on forever. The story begins on July 20th or 21st, 356 BC, in Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedonia. He was born a prince, the son of King Philip II, a brilliant king who transformed Macedonia from a peripheral kingdom into a military superpower. His mother was Olympias, a princess of Epirus, a strong-willed, myth-believing, and fiercely protective of her son. From childhood, Alexander lived amidst royal intrigue and passionate military ambitions. He was tutored by his nurse Laniki and educated like royalty, learning to ride, hunt, and fight. At the age of 13, Alexander received the unrivaled private tutor of Aristotle, the renowned Athenian philosopher. For 3 years, Alexander studied not only rhetoric and philosophy, but also medicine, morality, and most importantly, Homer's Iliad. Alexander made his military debut at the age of 16, leading Macedonia while his father Philip was away at war. The pinnacle of his youth came at the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC, where Alexander, just 18 years old, led elite cavalry and destroyed the sacred band of Thebes, securing Macedonian dominance over all of Greece. However, Alexander's life took a dramatic turn in 336 BC. At his daughter's wedding, King Philip II was assassinated by one of his bodyguards, Pausanias. Alexander, at the age of 20, quickly assumed the throne, supported by the nobility and the military. Philip's legacy, a grand plan to invade the Persian Empire, was now in the hands of his young son. Philip's death sparked a revolt in Greece. Thebes and Athens rose up. Alexander responded with lightning speed, marching south, surprising the rebels. He razed Thebes to the ground and sold its entire population into slavery. This brutal act sent a strong message. Macedonia was no joke. Greece submitted, and Alexander was appointed hegemon, supreme commander, to attack Persia. In 334 BC, Alexander crossed the Hellespont, leading an army of approximately 48,000 men. His official mission was to avenge the Persian invasion of Greece a century earlier. In Asia, he directly encountered the Persian army. Battle of the Granicus, 334 BC. Alexander's first victory marked his entry into Asia Minor. Here he nearly died but was saved by his friend, Clitus the Black. Gordian Knot, 333 BC. In the city of Gordium, he faced an ancient riddle, a knot that supposedly would make whoever could untie it ruler of Asia. Instead of opening it, Alexander swiftly cut it down with his sword, demonstrating that for Alexander, tradition could be broken through bold action. Battle of Issus, 333 BC. This is where he came face to face with Darius III, the great king of Persia. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's phalanx and cavalry tactics successfully split the Persian formation. Darius fled, leaving his family in Alexander's hands. Instead of pursuing Darius, Alexander marched south, through Syria and Phoenicia. After a difficult siege of Tyre, he advanced into Egypt, which welcomed him as a liberator from Persian rule. In Egypt, Alexander founded the now legendary city of Alexandria, which would become the intellectual center of the ancient world. Most strikingly, he journeyed across the desert to the temple of Siwa, where the priests crowned him the son of Zeus Ammon. This title cemented his image as a demigod, strengthening his legitimacy in the eyes of Greece and Asia. The turning point came at Gaugamela, modern-day Iraq. Darius III assembled the largest army ever assembled, seeking to avenge the defeat at Issus. This was a battle that would decide the fate of the Persian Empire. Through a brilliant maneuver, Alexander deliberately weakened his flank, luring Darius into an attack, then led his companion cavalry through Darius's command center. Darius fled again, and this time it was the end. The great Persian Empire had been defeated. After Gaugamela, Alexander sacked major Persian cities like Susa and most symbolically Persepolis. He burned the palace in Persepolis, allegedly as symbolic retaliation for the Persian destruction of the Acropolis of Athens, closing the chapter on the Greek War of Revenge. In 330 BC, Darius III was found murdered by one of his own satraps, Bessus. Alexander was surprisingly furious. He pursued Bessus and subjected him to a cruel punishment, presenting himself as Darius's rightful successor, not simply a foreign conqueror. Now Alexander was no longer simply the king of Macedonia. He began adopting Persian dress and customs, a move known as Hellenism. His goal was to unite East and West. This move caused significant tension with his Macedonian generals. Tensions reached a peak when he introduced proskynesis, the ritual of bowing before the king, which was considered an insult to free Greeks. Alexander even killed his close friend Clitus the Black, drunk during a heated argument. This moment haunted him for the rest of his life. In Central Asia, he fell in love with a noble Sogdian princess named Roxane, whom he married in 327 BC. Alexander's ambition was limitless. He wanted to reach the end of the world. He marched into India, facing King Porus and his formidable army, including war elephants, at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. Alexander was victorious, but his army was exhausted. They were far from home, suffering under monsoon rains and facing endless Indian tribes. When Alexander urged them to cross the Hephaestus River and continue east, his troops refused. This was the first and only time Alexander could not persuade his troops. After locking themselves in their tents for 3 days in despair, Alexander finally gave in. They decided to turn back. The route they chose to return home was brutal. The main body of the army traversed the Gedrosian Desert, present-day Pakistan and Iran, a hellish journey that killed tens of thousands of soldiers from starvation and dehydration. Amidst the hardships, Alexander demonstrated leadership by suffering alongside his troops. Upon arrival in Susa, he attempted to consolidate his empire. He held a great wedding at Susa, marrying a Persian woman, Statira, and urging his generals to do the same, a final attempt to unite the two civilizations. However, tragedy soon struck. His childhood friend, Hephaestion, and his trusted general died suddenly at Ecbatana. Alexander was devastated. He shut himself away and ordered a lavish funeral, drowning in his incurable grief. In 323 BC, Alexander arrived in Babylon. planning his next invasion of Arabia. However, he fell ill after a long drinking binge. For 12 days, he suffered from a high fever and excruciating pain. On June 10th or 11th, 323 BC, Alexander the Great died at the very young age of 32. The cause of his death remains debated to this day. As he lay dying, his generals asked, "To whom do you leave the empire?" Alexander replied, "To the strongest." Although his empire was fragmented, Alexander's legacy never died. His conquests spread Greek culture, language, and ideas throughout the Middle East and Asia. This fusion created a new civilization known as the Hellenistic era, a foundation that would later influence the Roman Empire, extending as far as India. Alexander the Great was a paradox, a brilliant leader who pushed his armies to the limits of human capabilities. He was a visionary who wanted to unite the world, but also a paranoid king who murdered his own friends. He is both a symbol of human greatness and a warning about the dangers of unlimited ambition. Okay, everyone, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below to encourage me to create more content like this. Okay, friends, I'm Rai. Goodbye. See you in the next video.